coming to. And but she said I was very honest, you know.
Well, that's good.
And other than that,
Very honest.
I had stress, anxiety, suspicion, overly sensitive.
Yeah.
Highly sensitive, you know. Well, no wonder, right?
Of course, no, certainly, of course. I mean, I dealt with a woman who had, talk about general anxiety disorder, she would have tremendous mind-numbing anxiety attacks. So much so that she would just get into this anxiety, suddenly it would like just kind of come over her. And she would be paralyzed, and she would begin to think, oh my God, it's terrible, my life is in danger, I've got to get out of here, like where she's working. She would jump up and yell, oh my God, they're after me, something like that, and run out. And people would say, oh, what's wrong with her? And then she would become all embarrassed, but she just could have just overcome her. And then it got to be so bad that she was afraid. She would go to the market, and suddenly an anxiety attack would come on her. And one time she ran out of the market. She was so paralyzed with fear. And then she became afraid to go out of her house because she might have an anxiety attack, like when she was driving or something like that. And she became, what you would call this, agoraphobic.
Right.
And couldn't get out of her house, etc. Well, she has come to me now for a year and a half, 2 years. She still has anxiety attacks. Now they're totally controlled. She knows exactly when they come after an abduction event. She waits for them. They come. She knows what's happening. Her personality has changed. Her life has changed. She's okay. She's in control. She can get on with it. She doesn't care what's going on anymore. Everything is in her control.
Is she
Well, yeah. But
the way you say that.
but the thing is that this doesn't happen all the time. You'll find this is not doesn't happen all the time.
This is just what I'm about.
No, it was just a coincidence that we hit that particular one in 1979. That's what it was.
So that just happened to. Well.
Yeah, of all the things to hit, we just stumbled on that. That's the way you look at it.
Well, you know, I've missed the year before I was pregnant with Colton. I was very late on my period to the point where I would have, I was wondering if I was pregnant, but I don't really remember being sexually active. So I was extremely late, like a couple of weeks on my period.
No, sexual activity doesn't have anything to do with it.
Right, I know, but then the year before, the same thing. I mean, I have a series of this, so now I'm wondering how many times has this gone on, and especially since I did have that when I was 15.
Well, this is a legitimate question, and I can't deny that. And of course, we can't tell. The problem is, Coletta, that you're down there in North Carolina, and so this is just going to be a little short burst. Now, I've dealt with short bursts before, and take my advice, please. Make liberal use of the phone. Call me whenever you want to, whenever you need to.
Well, somehow I'm going to have to try to make some extra money to be able to afford to come up here and do this once in a while, because I know that it's an investment in myself.
In a way it is. If we had a lot of people who could do this kind of work around the country, it wouldn't be a big deal, but basically there's Bud and I. Bud's up in New York and I'm here. And after that there's a fairly steep drop-off. And it is very easy to fall into the clutches of people who sort of know a little bit about it but don't really know that much about it.
Well, that's why I don't go to them. I'm not going to do, that's why I've been on a little search and I meet these nuts, and I'm a pretty good judge of character.
Right.
And I avoid them.
You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. You're right in avoiding them. Pardon me. Number 28. But you have to be careful because there is a possibility of abuse and damage. And even though I sit here and I talk in a sort of regulated tone and I say this and say that, there's a lot of experience behind what I'm saying and how I'm saying it and all the rest of that. And
well, you know what? I also feel that I want to work with you because I feel very comfortable with you. I like you.
Right,
you're outgoing. You're open. I like your manners and your body language. You're loose.
Body language I got lots of, acres of.
It's like I feel good around you.
Well, it's I thank you for that. But the thing is that there's a lot of other people out there too who are really likable people and are well-meaning. But they just don't know what they're doing, and they don't know what they're playing with, and they don't know.
Yeah, smoke.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
I left the ashtray out for you.
Okay. I'm, going through whatever I'm going through, and I don't need to apologize for smoking.
You sure don't.
This is one thing I've noticed I've done a lot this year, because I had stopped smoking and I picked smoking up.
Well, but smoking relieves some of the stress.
It's relieving something.
Yeah, it's relieves.
But I'm a naturopathic doctor. I shouldn't be doing it.
Well, you're smoking natural cigarettes. I mean.
Oh, I had it from my friends.
Well, suffice it to say, they're right and you're wrong, and you just let it go with that.
Yeah.
Deal with stopping smoking later.
Right.
This is too big right now. You don't want to make any. The key thing right now is not to make any major changes until things have shaken down a little bit with you.
So what one are we going to do today?
Let's see what we've got here. Well, we have been talking about this business about, this was in November 1988 in West Hills area, Los Angeles.
All right.
June of aliens doing a breast exam. When they woke up, their breast was sort of exuding a brownish substance. Some leakage to when expressed, as they say.
Right.
And we were going to do that as a backup position yesterday. Do you want to take a look and see what that was? Now, this is a more recent one.
What about the 3-hour missing time?
And
Must have been 86. It
let's
was
see
a couple
what's
years
that.
ago. I woke up, while I was reading in bed, and I went to go to the bathroom, and it was 1 o'clock, and then I went back to bed to either read or something, and I go, I got to go to the bathroom again. It was 3 o'clock. And
Did you tell me?
no,
that
it was 12 o'clock, and
12
so
o'clock and
it was
3
12
o'clock.
o'clock, and then all of a sudden it was 3 o'clock,
Okay.
and that,
She couldn't understand how 3 hours could have went by.
yeah, it was
When-
like, it impressed.
I don't have this written down.
No.
Did you tell me that one before?
That I did, Mandy didn't.
And then you had the time when you woke up last week, which might be too soon.
Let's hold off on that a little bit.
Okay.
But let's do, what I'd like to do then is one that is okay with you, or one that causes you the most anxiety.
The one that causes me the most anxiety is the one that happened last week.
That's the trouble.
Then let's do that one, but not right this very instant.
Okay. That's a good way of saying, well, let's do that one later.
But let's get another one under your belt.
All right. Well, then let's do the
Well, what about this? Do the what?
maybe we could do the 3-hour missing time.
Okay.
And if we don't get nothing
Let's
from
do
that
that.
one, we'll have a backup of the breast
Sounds
examination.
good. Now, tell me about this. This was in 1986. I don't have that written
This,
down
I think it
here.
was probably about 86 or 87. I have this bladder condition. It's the interstitial cystitis.
That's been
And
diagnosed as interstitial cystitis?
yes. And I don't, when I go to bed at night, I'm up frequently before I fall asleep.
Right.
Within a couple of minutes of each other, I have, sometimes when it's real bad, I have to get up every couple minutes.
That's a nuisance.
It is, it's a pain in the ass.
Right.
So then, so I was reading, and I got up to go to the bathroom, and I have a digital clock, and it said 12 o'clock. I went to the bathroom, and I went back, and I thought I went back to read. And then all of a sudden I go, well, I gotta go to the bathroom again. I walked by the clock, and it was 3 o'clock, and I went, wow, did I just pass out? Did I just pass out for 3 hours? I
Okay,
go,
let me start again now. This was about 1986. Was it a weekend or weeknight or something?
I don't know. I didn't keep track of it.
And you decide that you're going to go to bed.
Right.
You get into bed,
I'm reading,
reading.
and I get up to go to the bathroom,
But how do you know what time you get up to go to the bathroom?
because there's the digital clock
It's
on
right
the
there.
dresser that I
She
see
always
it.
looks at the clock. when she
I'm
gets
always
up.
conscious of the time when I go to sleep at night, because I'm not a good sleeper, and I'm always worried about getting enough sleep,
Right. Yeah.
you know.
So it's 1 o'clock when you get up.
No, it's 12 o'clock.
I'm sorry, 12 o'clock.
And then I
Go
went.
to the bathroom.
I go to the bathroom and I go back to my bed, and I thought I went back to read.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, well, I got to go to the bathroom again. If anything, I would have thought a couple of minutes had passed.
Now you went to the bathroom.
I went to the bathroom.
You came back out, did you? And you came back to continue your reading.
I guess, yeah.
Then you noticed, then suddenly you had to go to the bathroom again, but you had just been there a second before.
Yeah, it seemed like had just gone to the bathroom again, you know.
So, and then you looked at the clock, and when you got up to go again,
It was 3
it was
o'clock.
3.
And I
So you would
remember
have
going
spent
3 hours. There's 3 missing hours. I went, wow, I must have just passed out. And I go, and I felt kind of good about that, thinking, wow, I could have just fallen asleep that easy. But I go,
Right.
how I would have known that, because
Yeah.
I know when I get to that state, okay, I'm drifting. I'm
Well,
oh
sure.
good, I'm
Yeah.
starting to fall asleep now. All right, you know.
Yeah.
Oh good, I'm asleep. You know,
Right.
that's basically my sleep pattern. Is like I'm aware basically when I do fall asleep.
But you would have noticed 3 o'clock in the morning because that's a 3-hour time gap.
Right.
And
But if I would have been reading for 3 hours, I probably would have gone to the bathroom 5 or 6 times.
oh, I see. Right.
So something
Well,
didn't
see-
make sense to me. That had always impressed my mind as being odd. That, you know, so when I read one of the books about missing time, I go, and then I remembered that incident where that had impressed me so much that there was 3 hours gone.
I see. Okay, so, but when you came out from the bathroom, your intent was just to go back and start reading again.
I guess, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, okay.
She was wide awake.
Let's see what happened. Let's
Okay,
check that out.
let me go to the bathroom
Sounds good.
and we'll
Meanwhile,
start
I'll
again.
Pull off that.
Okay.
Pat, I can do that too if you want to hang around
Yeah.
downstairs and watch television or something like that.
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
Whichever.
Don't make noise, because I noticed last time that when you were up walking around and you're doing something that I got real conscious of that.
Yeah.
And,
Well, the sirens outside.
yeah, and the helicopter. And
Heli-
Well, that was
Helicopter.
extremely loud. Yeah, it's going to happen again, so be prepared for it.
yeah.
Hmm.
I guess what it is I'm noticing of another presence of a human on, and then that kind of, I don't know, just does something.
Yeah, that's why for some people, even for husbands and wives, here, let me grab that. Even for husbands and wives, sometimes they find it easier to do the regression alone because the presence of another person
It was disturbing to me in a way.
is disturbing and sometimes it's inhibiting. How
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Yeah,
Even with a husband or a wife.
I knew you were there. It was like my connection was with him, and then all of a sudden there's this outside entity that.
Well, she came up too.
Who did?
No, she
The
wasn't,
girl
but she
came
wasn't
up
in
and
here.
went to the bathroom.
So.
So, but Colette, now this is your call, and this is your life, and if you think that it's best for us to do it alone and Pat, stay downstairs or something like that, that's your call. Because I could change the tapes, and Pat, you just listen to the tapes afterwards if you wish.
This one, would you mind doing that?
All right.
Just because I know that there was those moments where I felt like my bonding with him, there was an outside
Yeah, I'll go with you.
thing happening, and I got conscious of that,
Mhm.
and I found myself focusing on that at times, and then that was pulling me out because I was starting having conflict with what was going on, but don't take it personally. I don't mind really that you hear.
You're a bad person, Pat, that's all there is to it.
And I really don't mind that you hear what's going on, and I want you to hear because I know that you're all into this, and this helps you research whatever it is you research. But I just noticed that it affected me somehow, and
I'll be quiet in the other room.
okay, it's like I just noticed that it altered it for me.
Pat, I'm going to send you downstairs. Take any stuff you want. Go sit in the family room. Turn on the TV, 25-inch Sony, and cool your heels for an hour. How does that sound?
Yeah, all right.
But you can hear all the
Downstairs.
tapes, let's just see how it is without you hear from me.
All right. All right. Well, when you start to turn yours, oh, you got
I'll
yours
turn them
on,
all.
right?
Yeah, I'll
Just
turn
push
them
the
all.
pause button. And here's my tape.
Okay.
But this is well, it's close to the beginning.
Has
So
it been turned
it'll
on
be-
yet?
But don't take this
No, just the
personally,
pulse.
Pat,
Okay, the
okay?
pulse.
Will do, will do.
Don't take it personally, okay?
After you start yours, where you normally
Will,
start, after you take her
okay.
down.
So, do you want your glasses, Pat?
Yeah.
Please, Pat, don't take this personally.
That's good.
Okay. Pat, grab anything you want there. Whatever you take. Okay, banshee you down to the hinterlands.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Pat.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
See you
Okay.
later. Okay. No, I guess I don't need this. No, maybe I do need it. So this was an episode that happened 1986. You were living where then? Were you in
I
Black
was in
Mountain?
West Hills. They call it West Hills now, but that's like
Oh,
the,
right, yes.
the Calabasas-Chatsworth intersection out in the valley.
Were you alone at that time?
I was
your-
living with Jeff.
Okay. Was Jeff in the room? Was he?
Yes, he was in
So
the
he was
bed.
next to you? Was he asleep or was he?
Yes, he was asleep.
Mhm. And so he hit the sack first then, I see.
Mhm.
So the basic story is then that you're getting to bed now, you're reading, and get up to go to the bathroom, it's about 12 o'clock. Come back in, and get up to go to the bathroom again right away.
I thought, yeah. And it was 3 o'clock. And see, at that time, I'm not even saying now that it's a UFO connected situation.
It might not have been.
Right.
And for that reason, let's have a fallback position.
Right.
And we can do the breast exam as a fallback position if you want.
Okay.
But it is a little bit odd. And-
Well, it seemed real odd when it happened because
Well, you're dealing with
that's
3 hours.
not my normal pattern. See, that was outside of my normal pattern of going to bed, falling asleep, and laying there going, okay, good, I don't have to go to the bathroom anymore. Oh, okay, good. Oh, I feel pretty good. Okay, I'm starting to drift. Okay, I'm going. You know, and it's a
Right.
process that I'm really aware of my own
Right,
sleep process.
yeah.
And it was outside the normality of my own process.
Right.
That's why it impressed my mind.
It
being
doesn't
odd.
sound right, because 3 hours is a very long time. And if in fact you had gone back to sleep and decided, oh, I gotta get up again and go to the bathroom, you would have staggered up, you would have been groggy. The lights most likely would have been out, because you would have said, I'm going to sleep now, I'll turn the light off, I would assume.
See, I don't remember if when I went to the bathroom the first time, if I went back to go to sleep or if I went back to read, I don't remember.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what was odd about the fact that when I got up to go to the bathroom, I go, wow, I must have fallen asleep, or just something was odd. So I don't know, but I'm not saying it's connected with the UFO.
No, it's an odd occurrence.
It's just an odd occurrence.
Right. But it is the time gap is right, and the element of surprise is right.
My reaction.
Yeah, and the fact that you're bringing it up 3 years later, you remember it. This is something that happened. Tells me that there's a possibility that something.
Right. Well, there's an oddity to that, as there was an oddity to the light in the interstate.
Right.
But there was just an
Well,
odd
the
feeling.
interstate was a little bit more clear cut, because that is attached to a specific thing that you were viewing, that everybody saw. And there was a period there was this little gap, like you saw it, and then suddenly you were searching for it. In other words, you were describing some occurrence there.
Right, but I'm saying that the feeling of something being odd, that just being odd, that was an odd night because
Yeah.
that was outside of the norm for me.
Right. Let's see what happened there. Colette, you want the blanket?
Yeah.
Okay, let me help you with that.
Oh, I got it.
Okay, it's a little bit, the folds
Scattered.
there you go. There's holes in it. We used to have a cat who ate wool. She ate some holes in that blanket. Now this is Pat's,
Right.
and that's yours.
Now you understand how to work this, right? When it
Okay.
clicks off, just push stop, eject, and this will lift up and you
Right.
can pull the tape out, and then you just slide tape
Now
in.
this is this is side B already.
Right, so when this is done clicking off, just take it out because
Okay.
it's complete.
Okay.
So just push stop, eject, and this will open up, and you can take the tape out and put side A in, and then you'll push play and record.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, now this is Pat's book. Now, if you don't want Pat to hear this, he does not have a right to hear it.
Yeah, he's very pushy,
I know he is.
and he's
This is your life, and because somebody told you to call him does not mean that you have the chance to listen to him. Right, yeah, so.
Let's talk. He's telling me it's God. It's this, and I told him last night. I said, "This is bullshit. This is not my God."
Right.
And
Well, remember when I told you on the phone, I said, you have to make the decisions whether you want Pat to be here. And I was saying that for a reason, not just because it's just another guy, but
Okay.
each person brings a certain amount of baggage to this. You know?
Yeah, but see, but he's a good person,
Mhm.
and I like him
Yeah,
as a
oh,
person.
sure.
But this is my own life, and I'm not going to be, every time something happens, I'm not going to call him up. He
Right.
wants me to draw pictures and give them to me. He wants me to, fuck it. He wants me to start UFO groups, this and that, and interview people. I said, I don't want to do that because then I would be more involved in it, and I'm trying to learn to not be involved in it. And for me, I don't think that would work.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
I don't want to do that in my life. I want to
Exactly.
go to school, be a doctor, function, you know, and learn to keep this on the outside of my life.
The point is that he should not be imposing his particular viewpoint and take on you.
But I'm strong enough to say, hey,
Good.
like I told him, we had an hour conversation, and I sat and I told him how I felt about me and my child,
Right.
and I'm seeing the transformation Colton's going through, this whole
Yeah.
psychological change my son is going through,
Yeah.
and how that's harmful. That's not positive, and that's not my God, you know. And about it's, you know, and I really got into it on a really deep level, because see, he thinks this is fun for him.
Right. I
He
know.
does not even, and I talked to Alice about it, but Alice doesn't have the strength to tell Pat how she feels,
Right.
you know. And in fact, Alice wants to be here with it. She's going to come here later to take me home because I'm going to do all day with you.
Yeah.
And she wants to be here without Pat to talk to you a little bit about what she's, because Pat's going, he thinks this is just so fun and it's
Right.
God in it. Oh yeah, and he's got all these theories and he's saying what that is. I said, I don't think that's what it is. You know,
Good.
that's what you think,
Good.
but that's not what I think. And-
I only, in all the time that I've been dealing with Alice, I've only been able to get her here once. And I was sort of hoping that she was into her session to our get-together Friday night alone, but apparently he's going to take time off, which is okay, but she opens up a little bit more when he's not here. He deals with the material a little bit better.
He tries to run me and answers for me and all that, and I'm trying to put a stop to that because
Yeah.
that's his thoughts, his feelings. I said, those aren't mine.
Right. And at the same time, even when he's here during sessions, he didn't do this last time, but with Alice, he's constantly handing me a series of questions to ask her, and it breaks up my rhythm, to tell you the truth. And some of the questions are really off the wall.
I
don't
mean,
wanna
like we
ask
get
those
in the
questions.
car, and we're getting in here, and we're getting in the car, we're getting ready to go and stuff, and out of the blue he hands me a piece of paper, so draw me what your alien looks like. I go, Pat, I'm not going to do that right now.
Good.
I says, I'm not clear on it, and I
Right.
don't want to say anything, and, you know, this isn't a game for me.
Well, absolutely not.
He's obsessed with this.
Right.
People have obsessions, and he's in some unreal thing about this. I mean, he's obsessed. Did you ever see his apartment?
The what?
His apartment?
No, I've never been there.
It looks like a fucking Buck Rogers apartment, man. It's like he's a little kid, and he's got millions of books, and he's really into it. And anything he ever says is UFO or extraterrestrials. And he says, oh yeah, and this is what they do. And he says it like very matter-of-factly, like he knows it all. But
Right.
that's not my experience. And I, you
Right.
know,
Pat does not know it all.
Yeah.
Believe me.
And he's very pushy, and he wants to be recognized, and he's very insecure with himself, I think, because, you know, even the bit about bringing it up about the book, you know, his name in the book, and, you know. You know.
I hate to say it, but I'm not going to talk about Pat in the book.
You know,
That's just not going to happen. It's about
I
the
told
partisan
Pat, I
method.
said, you know, you really just need to be abducted. And then, you know, I said, and then that would fill in your void, you know. But he does not. See, Alice has to cover up a lot of her feelings around him. But I'm open and I'm intelligent enough to be, and glib enough to be able to express my feelings.
Right.
And that's helping Alice.
Good.
And she's
Good.
saying, Colette, you're being able to put in words and tell Pat how you feel, and that's how I feel, and I can't do that. And
Well, this is a problem that Alice has had for most of her life, and she's had a previous experience with her husband. And
oh, George, I met him. What a
Did you?
freak.
Is he?
The guy's a freak.
But she was married to him for like 15 years.
I
or
know, so you
something.
gotta wonder what problems that she had to even allow that to happen to her.
Well, she comes
You
from a
know?
Mennonite society. It's a very peaceful and I think a very giving and a society that is not didn't perhaps give her enough strength
Right.
originally. And there's this whole abduction thing that goes on, and God knows how that.
Affects her.
Right, exactly.
But she, you know, I mean, I'm going to be with Alice, is going to be my main talking
Fine.
person. Yeah, I'm not
Well,
going to be
Alice
calling.
is the person who's had the experiences. Pat is
See-
the hobbyist.
Yeah, Pat thinks it's wonderful that I should be elated and happy, and I go, I'm not. I'd do anything to get it out of my life. This
Of
is not
course.
fun.
The same thing with Alice. It's not fun for Alice. She hates it.
This is fun for Pat. It's not fun for me.
Right.
And he says today, you know, because yesterday I was very depressed. This morning I'm very tired. I'm moody. I'm coming here. Right? He says, Clay, I go, Pat, I'm sorry. I says, but I'm probably just going through the normal feelings that one would go through. I said, right now I'm right in the middle of this.
Yeah.
This has happened very quick for me. I said, once I get back to my house and start playing music again and I get involved again and get out of the middle of it,
Right.
I'll feel better. He says, well, you're acting very, he says, you're overacting. You're being very extreme about this. Other people aren't this way.
What?
And I didn't say nothing. I just says, well, I'm doing the best I can.
He
Pat."
doesn't have the slightest idea what he's talking to. Yeah, I'm talking about rather.
And he
other
says
people
that
are-
I'm
This
more-
is the way everybody is.
I have extreme hard feelings about this and I should feel happy about it. Well, fuck you, is how I feel.
Right.
But I like Pat, he's a neat guy, you know. I see the soft, nice part in him.
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's what I hold on to. But this obsession and this weirdness that he has,
I don't understand
bothers
how
me.
this psychologist down in Black Mountain ever got a hold of
Well,
that. And I was so amazed to hear that.
she went to a UFO experience convention or something, and he was there selling books, and she had picked up a card or something, and
This was up in Connecticut.
somewhere.
Because there was a convention called UFO Experience 2 years ago that I spoke at, or last year rather, that I spoke at. And Pat came up. He did not attend because it cost money to get in. But he was out in the parking lot with a car full of books.
That's maybe when she was. Her name is. She works with Harville Hendrix sometimes, who wrote the book "Getting the Love You Want." It's a new book that's out.
Well, tell her that tell them to call me or somebody or Bud Hopkins or something like that. Pat is, to tell you the truth, my jaw just dropped when I heard that she said to call Pat.
But she didn't know.
Right, she didn't know.
But he's rude. But there's a sweetness about him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, Pat's okay. But he has his structure, and may not be yours, and you've got to do exactly what you're doing. You're saying, believe, your structure is for you, and mine is for mine, and you cannot force me to accept yours.
You know, since we're being honest with each other, and the only way this is going to help me, I'm going to tell you what I did yesterday.
Okay.
Okay? I went to New York City yesterday and had an MIR ran on my head.
Is that right?
And
You must have had this set up before, didn't you?
yeah, Pat had this set up with the Communion Foundation by Whitley Strieber.
Oh, God. Okay.
Okay. Now hear me through.
Okay. I know
Whitley-
Whitley very well.
Whitley couldn't be there, but I met his wife, Ann. she's very opinionated, very close-minded, very ego,
Right.
and I do not want to work with her at all.
Whitley
And-
Strieber is a person who has, to put it nicely and not honestly, who has very serious psychological disturbances.
Well, I picked that up from his wife,
Mhm.
but the doctor who's running the MIR, Dr. Very nice man. He's
Good, okay.
very interested in this, and he's donating his time.
Good
and
for him.
And he wants to run 10 scans, right? And I was the third scan that they ran, and that noise I say, it's like focused
Yeah,
right in
right.
my third eye area.
Right.
Guess what they found?
What they find?
A white dot.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Now the
But-
question is, what is it, and can you get it removed?
Well, to do it on me, they'd have to cut my skull or go, and I'm not going to do that because chances are they just put another one in me anyway.
That's exactly what will happen. What you want to do is wait till you sneeze one out.
Sneeze. Mine's
Yeah.
in my pituitary.
Well, the pituitary one is the one that Pat was telling me about before. And you
No,
mentioned-
yeah, but this is different.
Oh,
Because, see, this doctor took it over to a different, some endocrinologist, and had other
Yeah.
people look at it. And basically, it's on the left side. You got two lobes basically, or that, like, there's your pituitary. It was more on one side. And if you look closely, there's an abnormality of the same, to some degree, on the other side. But this white dot, because, see, the doctor's going, well, tell me where to look, because he already says, that other thing is nothing. That's just a,
the other thing on the pituitary is
Yeah, he
nothing.
goes,
Okay,
have you
right.
been pregnant a lot? And I says, well, sometimes when women are pregnant, quite often,
Yeah.
they will develop this,
Oh,
and
darn.
da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay,
So
right.
that's nothing. He says, but tell me where to look on the scan. I says, well, if you were to go like this, the grid lines, and where the point of intersection,
Yeah.
I said, that's where I hear this, and so that's where he looked. And sure enough, he found a white dot. But see, he says, but he's frustrated with it because he says it's not really enough that he can go out and say, hey, this is happening, But
No, he can't
but
do
there's
that,
a
right,
but he
yeah.
knows there's a correlation.
There's a little anomaly there.
Yeah, there's something there. It's showing up as a white.
So you're not talking about something in your knowledge, though.
It's no in my head.
Right, I see. Yeah.
It's in my pituitary, but that's exactly where the noise is coming from. It's exactly where I told them to look. Where I felt that if I had a probe in me or something, I said, look
That's the area where you
there.
look.
Okay, Alice said something about her nostril area up in here.
Right, which is far more common, actually. See, I'm surprised that Alice didn't say anything to me about that, but I think that they're probably
Pat
sensitive.
says, don't tell him, don't tell him. But see,
Why?
when I met Ann, I don't know, when I met Ann, was that her name, Ann? Strieber?
Ann Strieber, yeah.
Strieber.
Yeah.
She was nice enough, but,
Right.
this doctor, he wants to know about what's going on and stuff like that.
Right.
And he wants to help, and he's like, but he's stuck because he's in the AMA, so he
Yeah.
can't get too far out.
They're
But so
limited,
he
right.
said, he says, so what's it like? He's asking me questions. I'm telling him, I go, you can't talk to anybody. I'm telling him a little bit of my experience. And so anyway, it was brought up about,
Yeah.
and Ann says, they're not this and that. And Alice and I just looked at each other, and we were angry. And this doctor knows that both Alice and I have been, this is going
Right,
on because we
yeah.
opened up to him because he wants to know. He's helping us by,
Sure.
And Ann's standing there, no, there's people out there that think it's just a phenomenon, but you have to look at statistics, and and these people aren't doing their research. She's acting like she's the only one.
She doesn't have the slightest idea what she's talking about.
And I just, I was there to get that CAT scan run for me. And I'm not,
Yeah.
And I don't want any involvement with them.
Will you get a report, or will you get pictures?
I'm going to get copies, yeah.
Okay, good.
I can send them up to you so you can see it.
Whitley is a guy who first came to Bud several years ago, but he worked with both of us for a while. And, well, I'm sorry, he didn't work with both of us. He worked with Bud, and he became friends with me. And Whitley, this is not for attribution. I didn't say it, but Whitley's a person.
Well, I
with-
didn't say what I said either.
Right.
Okay.
Is a person with very, very severe problems. And if I were to begin to even tell you what he said to us and what he did to us and the problems that we had with Whitley and his craziness, you would not believe what I tell you. Suffice it to say that Whitley is a very, very disturbed individual who who has a lot of money.
Well, that's too bad.
And therefore he's not nutty, he's eccentric.
Hmm.
Because he's rich and powerful, as they say.
Well,
He got $1 billion for communion up front. It was $987,000 some odd dollars and some odd cents in cash. And because the income before that was $300,000 a year by his own admittance. Whitley is also a writer of major repute. He had 2 books made into movies, and was, everybody knows Whitley Strieber. And, however, we know Whitley from another angle altogether.
yeah, well, I met I'm real good at kind of meeting people and, figuring who they are. I don't want to deal with her. She's
Sure.
saying what is happening, and you got to do statistically. And these other people are writing books, and they're not putting in footnotes. And I'm thinking, well,
There were no footnotes.
I go, Whitley might have been an abductee, and sure, and he worked with Bud, but he went to Bud.
He did indeed.
Now why did he go? Bud doesn't know nothing.
Right.
So who are they to say that nobody's out there doing any good research, that they're the ones who, and I was there for me to find out.
Good.
And I was happy with the results.
Well, you took advantage of the situation that was
Yeah,
set up,
exactly.
but don't take my advice again, don't fall.
But this is why I say, yeah, this is my own life, and I do have control of this.
Right.
And I'm not going to have people tell me what to do and this and that. Hey, I took advantage of that.
What you do with everything.
But you don't talk to Alice, that I said, because she might talk, or
Won't say
don't
anything,
talk
won't say
to
anything.
Pat.
Don't worry.
But I'll show you that, because I think that if we're going to work together, you need to know all this stuff, don't
Well,
you?
sure. Well, I don't need to know anything. Once again, this
I
is
know.
your life,
Yeah, but it's not going to help me to
True.
be half secretive and then half
Right.
honest.
But the way I work is, I do what all historians do, and what any good researcher does. You go where the evidence leads you. You don't try to impose a phenomenon. Now, you ask me a whole series of questions. The vast majority of questions you ask me, the answer is, I don't know.
Mm. Well, see,
I'm not
Anne's
gonna
acting like
invent things,
she knows what's going on, and she's flat point told the doctor, they're not, this isn't what this is about. And I
that's-
wanted to just go, you're an asshole.
Right. Because that's not where the evidence is. She
Yeah.
doesn't know. They don't do abduction research. They don't really know what they're doing at all.
They're looking for probes. That's the facet that they're dealing
Well,
with.
they're trying to find physical evidence to prove it by getting some sort of an implant.
Right.
And this was all, of course, this was pioneered by Bud Hawkins, who first discovered it,
Uh-huh.
and who ran the first MRIs on it.
But see, this doctor was really neat. I mean, the doctor's really neat.
Yeah.
But see, he's working with Anne, and I know he's got to be frustrated because, see, we're the abductees, and we're
Right.
telling him this is going on. She hadn't been abducted, and she's saying, no, this isn't going on. So he's frustrated. But
Yeah.
the good thing about it was there's a correlation that, yeah, I didn't tell them, yeah, look at my nose. I didn't go, yeah, look here. I said, look in the middle of my head.
Right.
That's where they
What's
look.
this guy's name, the doctor's name?
I've got his card.
Messina?
Messina. And I'm going to write him a letter and talk to him about, and if he ever wants to call me or whatever, because he said he
Sure.
wants to know. He's not going to get nothing from. I'm going to say, hey, look, it is going on,
Right.
and but keep it confidential from Anne. Very wonderful guy, though. I mean, very
Well, I'm
wonderful
glad to hear
guy.
that. Whitley recently wrote a letter to Bud Hawkins, actually just 2 weeks ago. He writes these really crazy letters, really insane.
Messina.
Messina. Look at all the doctors here, God. Oh, I see they have a whole group, radiology, tomography, ultrasonic, nuclear. It's all imaging. I see. Okay. Yeah.
So that's what I did yesterday.
No, this is what they do. This is good. This is not a side issue for them. I mean, they
Right.
do imaging.
That's what, and
techniques.
this guy's really in. He wants to know what's going on. So he figured, well, hey, he's curious. Is this really going on? So since he's doing this, this is where he specializes
Right.
in. He's donated 10 scans, and see, there's only been 3 run now. Me, Alice, and some other woman,
Yeah.
and they've found something right where we told them to look. And although it's not enough to say, hey, this is it, because it doesn't show except there's a white spot there showing up. And he knows, and we all know that.
Right.
But he
Well,
can't prove anything medically.
Who's getting the benefit of this? I mean, is Ann and Whitley Strieber, are they getting your reports too, and therefore are they
Yeah.
able to act on it? And he's donating his time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not paying for anything, and yet they're getting it.
Well, they paid, they ended up, I guess I had got a letter. I got that with me because it's still in here. See, this Pat had set up, I guess he called Whitley. He acts like Whitley's his best friend, you know.
Oh, he never mentions Whitley to me.
No. Well, he told me
He
not
knows
to
what I
mention.
feel about Whitley, what everybody feels about Whitley.
Well, Ann talked very bad about Bud.
Oh, absolutely, of course.
But I didn't tell her that I was seeing you, and,
Good, because she would have thought badly about you.
you know,
If that were the case.
she's talking about how there are other people are so close-minded and this and that. No.
Believe me,
I'm like,
there's two sides to every story.
but see, I got this letter when I got up here, but they were willing to pay my airfare.
Oh, okay.
But
that's
in
different
fact,
then.
I did get a check reimbursement for gas money to drive up here.
Well, that was nice,
Yeah,
but then they get the use of your MRIs.
yeah, but I don't care.
No, that's
I'm
fine.
getting a copy for myself. And you know what it did for me? I was satisfied with the results.
I'm pleased, that's
I would have
excellent.
been more concerned if nothing showed up, because then my brain would be searching for an answer, where's that noise coming from?
Mhm.
So this is good for me. It's just another facet of this whole phenomenon, you know what I mean?
Right.
They want to do that, let them do that. But don't say that there ain't there. They're not.
Believe me, they don't know what the abduction phenomenon is all about.
So they're just dealing in this one area. So this is an answer to something for me.
Mhm.
And I wanted to share that with you because I'm working with you.
Whitley wrote a letter to Bud just 2 weeks ago saying that he had lied about his experiences in the first several sessions that he had with Bud and with a guy named Don Klein at Columbia University and with a guy named John Nyman, psychologist. And that he had invented a whole long, totally crazy scenario about meeting this space woman and traveling through Italy with her and finding himself on an Egyptian Airlines plane and being let off by his penis and all sorts of crazy stuff, which he has maintained was the absolute God's truth. Up until 2 weeks ago, he said, oh, by the way, that was all wrong. I just lied. Everything was a lie. Everything was a lie. I
So
won't
isn't
even go
it
into
interesting that they're trying to do this then? If that was all a lie, why are they doing
We don't
that?
know what it was with Whitley. The best thing that I can tell you is that he is totally crazy.
I don't.
And everybody who comes in contact with him who has any degree of perception whatsoever, recognize it, and I mean, within the first 5 minutes, you start to shrink back. Something is wrong with this guy.
Well, Anne was nice enough, but her attitude sucked. And
Yeah.
I could tell that she had problems. But see, I know that she's an overeater.
Yeah, well,
And so she's obviously got something going on.
theoretically, she was writing a book on diet.